All right, so welcome to Creatio Tech Hour. My name is Alexander Sheckley, and I'm Academy Trainer, and Matt here is assisting me.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, so as Alex mentioned, I'm going to be rather an assistant. Alex is going to guide you through our new bulk image designer. And yeah, I believe we can get to it.
All right, so today is a very exciting topic. I'm going to present to you a new Freedom Email Designer and its capabilities. So let me just give you a quick look through our agenda. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just do like a quick overview of the Freedom Email Designer, as we call it. And then we're going to design a newsletter email. And also I'm going to show you how you can manage your content and adjust it in the email designer. And then we also will have an overview of the new layout features that you can add. And then in the end, we're gonna have a quick look on Creatio AI capabilities, how it can help in creating an email. And last thing for today is we're gonna have a Q&A session. So that is the plan for us for today's tech hour. And before we go and design the email, let me just tell you about the versions where you can get the Freedom Email Designer. So it's available from version 8.2, but if you are on version 8.2.0, you can install it from Marketplace. But from versions from 8.2.1 and beyond, it's already included in the marketing app. And if you open the marketing, you should be able to see the following link. Let me show you. So you can install the email marketing app from our marketplace. So without any further ado, let's begin. The first thing that you will see is that now we have a separate workplace called email marketing. So let me open it for you. And here you'll find two sections, a bulk email section and also the campaign section where you can build your campaigns. So let me go and open the bulk email section. And as you can see, the list view has been updated to Freedom UI. And it's a good time to create our email. So I'm going to click on Create Email. And now you can see a mini page pops up where I can name my email. So for now, I'm going to call it Creation Newsletter. I can give it a goal or specify the email type. And one very important feature here or a change is that now we have two different sending methods, or rather, name changes. In classic UI, you could create a bulk email or a trigger email. So now we have unified naming, and the bulk email is called you can send it as a one-time email manually, so manual at optimal time. Or if you want to use an email in the campaign, you're going to use the campaign flow here.
In addition, that terminology have been applied to the classic email designer as well. So the bulk email, as for now, we will refer to as the section where you can create the emails as well as the element of campaign manager. So previously, bulk emails as a template, they are going to be named. Bulk emails and trigger emails, they are going to be right now named by sending method. So manual and using campaign flow. Keep that in mind.
All right, thank you for adding that. So I'm going to go with the manual at optimal time. And now I also need to accept usage policies and confirm I'll comply with applicable anti-spam and consumer protection laws. So this is a procedure you would do only once when you use the feature for the first time, and you can click on usage policies, where you can see in greater detail exactly the policy on the Creatio's website. So let me confirm and save. And now I can open the email from the list. And now the first thing that you will see is the whole email view was redesigned. So let me add some details. So I'm going to add sender's name on my email. And finally, I'm going to give it a subject. So let me call it Creatio newsletter for now, and we're going to revisit subject later on. On the right-hand side, there is bulk email info, where you can change the email priority or the name of the email or a goal or the type. So now it's a good moment to design some content. So let me just do that. And what you can see here, there have been a few updates regarding old email designer. It has been completely redesigned from scratch. You can see that we still have blocks as previously, but now we will also work with rows. So the difference between those two is that now rows are sort of containers now, so where blocks are stored. And you can place some content into those blocks, such as images or text. And there are many different row templates that you can use, which we will explore later on in our session. But essentially, a row contains a block, and you can drop your components into the block, and then you can either copy the row if you wish, and then move it around as needed. So, in the content tab, on the right-hand side, there are components which you can add to the blocks, and the new ones are now divided into a text or a UI. And in the text, you have a title and a paragraph, but also there is a list component that you can add. In the UI, you can see the elements that have been in the classic UI previously, but now also you can add a video element or an icon or social media component with very useful stuff. And finally, you can add some GIFs and stickers now. So it's really cool stuff. We're going to revisit that in later on in our session. So in my newsletter, I want to add a company logo first. So what I will do now is I'm going to drag and drop the image to my block, and now browse. And what you can see here now is the file manager, where you can now upload your pictures, your files, either from your PC, or you can import it from various sources such as Facebook, Google Drive, OneDrive, you name it, or you can just use a specific URL. And finally, there is thousands of Creative Commons Zero license photos for you to use. So we'll come back to it later. And another cool feature that you can do is you can now organize your files a bit. So what you can do is you can create a folder. So let me just do that. Let me call it icons. And now I'm gonna upload some icons here. So let's give it a minute until it creates it. All right. And now let me open it. And now I'm going to drag and drop some icons. And voila, I've got my icons here uploaded. I can change the view for list view or grid view, or I can sort my email, my icons. So that's the first folder I'm going to create. The other one is going to be values. Later on, I'm going to use some pictures representing pre-issue values in my newsletter. So let me just add these. And finally, I'm going to add a Creatio logo that I want to include in the header of my email. There you go. So now I'm going to insert my Creatio's logo. And now what you can see here, the logo is way too big. So let's adjust it. And a very cool feature, well, makes my life way easier now is that with one click, you can adjust the slider to the desired size here. So let me just go with 50%. And another cool feature is that you can now apply padding to all sides. Previously in classic UI, you had to do it manually for each side individually. And now with a click of a button, you can just adjust all sides simultaneously. So really cool feature. See how quick and easy it was to add a logo here. So that was about the logo. And now let's add a title below the logo because I want to welcome my recipients of my newsletter. And now see that if I click on the text,
And you're
I
still applying I mean, you're still dropping the content blocks into one row. Is that right?
exactly as
Okay.
this is my headers row, and I think it's going to fit nicely here. So in addition to the text, you can now add a superscript if you wish, or a subscript, or some special characters if you prefer. And another cool addition here is now you can add emojis. So really cool stuff. So in my case, I'm going to do some adjustments here. But on the right-hand side, you can now see that you have different presets for title heading, if you wish to change it. You also have now more built-in fonts out of the box. And finally, you can also adjust the line height, some letter spacing, or you can even change the text direction as you type. So let me start from changing the text. So what I want to say here is, here's your February 2025 newsletter. And now in between here, there, I want to add a match tag, but I will gonna refer to my recipient bond name. And I said a merge tag because previously in Classic UI, it was called a macro. So now we changed it to merge tag, and I can choose one of the varieties of different merge tags available. I'm going to go with recipient's name. In the future updates, you're going to have more to choose. If you wish to use something that you've already used in Classic UI that it's not on the list, you can copy it here and it's going to work just fine. So now let's refine my text a bit. So I'm going to change the font Montserrat and the color to black and adjust the letter spacing. Yeah, that's great. All right, so my header is complete. So now I'm going to add another row where I'm going to add some image to my newsletter. So now again, I can browse and I can choose something from my library here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with 3 photos this time. Let me just choose something that's going to fit my newsletter. I'm going to go with that one. And insert it. So there's a variety of really nice photos in high resolution for you, available for free. And although the image looks great, but in my case, I think it's a bit too wide. But fortunately, here comes another feature that we have in Freedom Email Designer, is that now we can apply effects to an image. Let me just do just that, and let me show you what you can do now. So either you can include some filters, or you can resize the image, or if you wish, you can transform it, or add any drawings, text, shapes, and so on and so on. So lots of stuff, powerful stuff that you can do. In my case, I want to crop it a bit. So either you can adjust some specific height here and width, or you can do it manually. In my case, I'm going to go with built-in preset. And let me apply. And voila, perfect. So one more cool thing about the image now is now in the actions here, not only you can open a web page as we could in classic UI, but now you can either send an email and make a phone call or send a text as well. So now you have more choices here. Let me just add a Creatio website. And so far, I've been working with the desktop view here of the email. So what is another change is that now it's straight away available from you from the canvas that you can change and switch to mobile view and desktop respectively. So very cool feature here. But there's more here. So imagine that perhaps on the mobile version of the email, you wish to use some other photo, and you can now hide the elements depending if it's on desktop or mobile. So let me just show you how you can do that. So, for example, let's say that I want that picture to be displayed on desktop. So what I can do is I can hide it on mobile. Now see what's going on. If I switch to mobile preview, is now the picture is grayed out. So what I can do is I can add another picture. Let me just browse through 3 photos. Let me just choose another picture. Yeah, that seems cool. All right. And now let's hide it on desktop. So now if I switch back and forth, you can see now that picture that I've just added is grayed out and desktop is clear. And if I switch to mobile, it's the other way around. But what can you also do is you can show preview. And now you can switch between the mobile view and desktop to have a clear view of how your email would look like. And a really cool addition is that now you can switch a dark mode preview. And with that, you can easily see how your email would look like if someone has a dark mode enabled. So really cool stuff here. And more to come. So let me edit my content here. And let's go back to the desktop view. So now that I've added my pictures here, I can add the body of my email. So I'm going to go with another row, and I'm gonna add a title. So let me add some text that I want to include here. So that's my text, and let's refine it a bit. So I can go with Montserrat as well. Let's change the size to 30 and the color to black. All right, now let's add a paragraph here. So my text is going to be the following. As you can see, it requires some adjustment. So let me just do that. So let me unify the font. All right. Slightly adjust the size. And let's change the alignment. And perhaps we could go with line height. And if I scroll down, notice I got padding enabled to all signs, but this time you want to be more specific. So I want to add some padding to the right. Let me just do that. And now to the left. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I got my body almost done, but there's one more thing I want to add. And here where GIFs and stickers come in handy. So I can add these. Let me just show you an example. So a sticker is a GIF technically, but with transparent background. So let me show you how it can look like. So if I drag and drop a sticker, so I can find something that will fit my email. Let me make it smaller a bit. So what you can do now, if I change the background color, let's say I switch it just like that, you can see now the picture is transparent. So even though if I switch the background color, the GIF is transparent. So this is a sticker. So let me just remove it because in my case, I want to add a GIF. So let me just find a GIF here. All right, let's find something cool. That looks cool. And now let me just the size to make it smaller a bit. Right. So the other element that I want to include is a video. So I can drag and drop a video here below. And now let me add a link to it. So I can add a YouTube link and see that I don't need to include the title because the title is going to be imported from YouTube. So really cool stuff. And I can further customize my play icon because notice that my preview is white and I want the icon to be easy to see while not covering the energy title as much. So what I can do is I can change the color of my icon, make the size smaller. And finally, I can change the type to, for example, rectangle solid. And voila, the play icon is adjusted. So that's my body of the email. And now I'm going to go with the footer. So from the variety of different row templates, I'm going to go with those 3 equal elements here with different blocks. And now I'm going to add some images here. Let me just do that. On the last one. Now see that currently I have those 3 blocks, which we could call that these are columns. And if I wish to change the structure here, I can do it very easily and adjust it. So no need to go with the specific row each time. You can then further adjust it, or you can add a new row if you wish, just like that. So what I'm going to do, let me unify it. So let me just go with 4 here and 4 here. Great. So we have equal parts. Let me just add in image again. All right. So let me now browse through the images I want to add. So I previously added values. So that's where I want to go. Now I'm going to add images representing Creatio values. So I'm going to go with first with the red one and the blue one. And finally the green one. All right, so let's do some adjustments. I'm going to start with the red one. So I can apply some effects here. So see that I have some outline around it, so I can crop it. And let me just zoom it for more control. And this time I'm going to manually adjust it. I think that's okay. And a bit to the right. All right, so let me apply. And now I can round out some corners. So let me just round it out. Perfect. And one last touch here. Let me change the size to 45. All right, so now let me do that the same with the other pictures. Here I didn't need to crop it, but I can round it out a bit. All right. I think it looks good. Let's just change the size. I'm going to go with the green one. Let's round it out as well. And adjust the size. Great. All right, so I've got my images done. And now let's just add some text below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the text here. And now let's do some adjustments. Let me increase the size here. And let's align it to the center. And finally, let's remove the padding. Right, now I can copy that element and move it around so I don't need to adjust it every time. Now I can just change the text. Right. So now I'm going to add another row where I'm going to add Creatio's logo.
But by the way, Alex, as you
Yeah.
are on the row section, once you added a row, could you get back there really quickly? There was a question if we can already use some presets. So as Alex Prusakov mentioned, they will be available from version 2.2. But if you will click above the schemas of rows, yeah, you can choose default ones. So also you will have some already pre-configured rows and components inside of them. So that's to answer one of the questions. I believe that's a good moment. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
we'll have
really
it.
cool stuff here going on. So lots of choices here in Freedom Email Designer now, and more possibilities for you to use. All right. So now let me just add the image here. Let me go back and choose Creation's logo. Let's adjust it again. And apply some padding. And now I'm going to go with a row with two equal elements this time. And, and, and now I'm going to add an icon to the left block and a paragraph to the right. So a cool thing about icons is now you can add more icons if you wish and change the image there. In my case, I'm just going to go with one and go with telephone icon. And let's just do some adjustments. We align it to the right and remove icon padding. And when it comes to the paragraph, I want to add phone number to Creatio. So starting with the US. And now a very cool thing is that after I remove the, maybe let's change the padding first here. So let me just go with 8 here. And let's align it to the left. Yeah, it's already done. All right, so the cool thing about the text here is I can make this phone number clickable. So if I highlight it, I can then click on the link and then change the link type. So from URL, I can go with a telephone, and then I can just copy my phone, just like that, and paste it in the number. And so once I click OK, now you can see this is a link and it's clickable. So let me just copy the icons and the text since I've already configured it. Let me just change the phone. Let me just add the UK now. Now let's do the same with the UK. Let me change it to a telephone. And let's add the Australia line here. All right. Let me highlight it. And now let's change it as well. There you go. And now I'm going to add one more icon. So this time it's going to be an email icon. So I need to change it. Let me change the image. So I'm swapping it with an email. And now let's add the email right here. And same procedure. Let me just highlight it. So this time I'm going to go with the email type. And now I can just paste it in the email. And there you go. So my body of the email is almost done. One last thing that I want to include is the social media icons. So for that, I'm adding another row. And now I can add social media component. And now you can see I've got all social media icons here already pre-configured out of the box. I can adjust them if needed. But also what is really cool is now you have a variety of different choices of styles. So lots of different styles to choose from. I'm gonna go with the standard ones. And the one
What
final thing,
what in
um,
case if somebody doesn't have, for instance, I don't know, Instagram profile and uses some other social media to communicate with customers?
uh, well, you can just remove an icon, or add another one, and then just swap the image. Simple as that.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so let me just add one final thing to my email, which is an unsubscribe link. So what I can do is just remove the text and just add a special link, which is the unsubscribe, and align it to the center. So with that, my email is complete. But there is one more cool feature that I want to show you. And personally, I was really looking forward to it because now you can see history of your changes and you can revert back to a specific moment. So if you make a mistake, or maybe you want to go back, let me just show you. You can very quickly either browse through history, or you can just click on those arrows and go back. So you don't have to repeat yourself as we had to in classic UI. So really cool stuff here. So once my email is complete, let me just save it. And now let me open my preview here. So now it's a moment to discuss Creatio AI and come back to my subject line here, because notice that it's a very like something generic subject. So what I can do now is I can open Creatio AI, and it's going to help me with giving a proper title. So out of the box, you have two skills, more coming in future updates. If you wish, you can create some custom ones yourself, but with out of the box skill, I can ask Creatio AI to create an email subject line for me based on the content of my email. Let me do that. And now not only I get analysis in my subject line for potential spam words, but also suggestion for the subject line. Let me just choose that one. All right. And now the only thing that's left for me is to add the audience and send my email. But there's one more cool Creatio AI skill here for the bulk email. Let me just open an email that has already been sent. So if I open an email that was previously sent and switch to bouncy details, so there's some data here going on. But if I click on Analyze Bounce Response, I can now see more details. And now Creatio AI is asking me for email of the individuals, so I can add only one email or more if I wish. So Creatio AI will now analyze the band's response for each individual here. Let's give it a moment, and voila. Now you have analysis of my recipients. So that's about Creatio AI. Very cool features already implemented. And in the future updates, you're going to get more. And right now I can give you a quick previews what we're going to add in the future. In future updates, what you will be able to do is to add a translation of your email, and the system is going to send the appropriate language version based on the preferred language set in the context. So now notice, out of the box, if you open a contact, you can see they've got preferred language. So if Alexander Wilson prefers German, then if you add a translated version of your email to Creatio, then the system is going to send the preferred language. In this case, it's going to be German. Yeah, and so that's another cool feature we're looking forward to. So that's all about the Freedom Email Designer. So lots of cool stuff. Very excited about these features. Had lots of fun when creating the email, and I hope it's going to be the same for you. It's going to be useful for you, and you'll be having a blast when creating an email. So
Thank you, Alex. That was amazing presentation. I really enjoyed it. So guys, let
thank
us
you.
know if you have any questions so we can stick around for some time.
The next update, 8.2.2, is just around the corner. I believe, I think it might be released in just like a couple of weeks. So it's really, really soon. Other questions? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for the presentation. Looks very nice, and the designer looks much better now. Apart from the system email that's not going to be in the new functionality, is there any other functionality that's not going to be moved to the new designer?
The thing is, the system email, there could be a different approach, but this is not something around the corner where we are not going to use the web services to send marketing emails for system for necessary notifications, right? So this is Andrei to once again confirm that most likely those restrictions, they come from the from the service provider. But as for anything else, I don't think that there can be potentially anything that is not going to be introduced into this new designer. And until everything is there, well, you will have two designers so that you're not missing on any functionalities. Does it make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Yuri.
Also, when I was playing around with the designers, I saw that it's not possible to open an email designed in the new designer in the old designer, and vice versa.
That's correct. Yeah, but also you will notice that in both sections, the templates created in new or old classic designer, they will be available to open in both of them. Yet, once you decide to create an email in new designer, then you have to stick to that. But in order to read data and statistics, you can refer to both sections as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Right, so coming.
I don't see any other questions. So thank you very much for your participation and attention. I hope you're going to have lots of fun when you're going to create your email. So happy designing.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so thank you guys, and until the next time. Bye.